G'day and welcome to ReDriven and welcome to BMW's least popular model, the 6 Series. Not least popular because no one liked it, just least popular because no one bought them. In fact, so few people bought the 6 Series that BMW actually quietly discontinued this entire range a couple of years ago. But here's the thing, because of their immense lack of popularity, the prices of these things have plummeted. So does that make these like a used car bargain, or should we take the lead of all the people that didn't buy them and just avoid them? But if you are looking at actually buying one, what goes wrong with them? Like, what do they like to live with on a daily basis? What do they cost to own and operate? Basically, should you buy one? Let's find out. Now in this video, we're going to be focusing on the 3rd generation BMW 6 Series, which was available from around 2011 to 2018. It was available in 3 different body styles with a few different mechanical packages as well.
This particular car is the 4-door Grand Coupe in 4.4-litre V8 650i form and in the M Sport trim. However, if you have no need for the practicality of back doors, you can have the 6 Series as a 2-door coupe, or if you'd rather spend your life topless, as a 2-door convertible. Engine-wise, and aside from this V8, which received a boost in power for the LCI update,
we'll get to that in a second.
The 6 Series also featured a less powerful 3-litre turbocharged inline-6 for the 640i, an even more powerful twin-turbo V8 in the M6, and a twin-turbo straight-6 in the diesel-powered 640D. I should mention all 6 Series here in Australia are rear-wheel drive only, but some countries do have the option of all-wheel drive, or X-Drive as BMW calls it. In terms of updates, the 6 Series received a host of various additions almost every year of its life cycle, but the biggest change came in 2015 with the LCI update, featuring a subtle facelift, improvements and updates to the tech and features, and a few minor mechanical changes as well.
And then you've got the options list, which basically makes like Wikipedia look like a short story. But instead of covering all of those details in this video, because it would take hours and get really boring, instead we have grabbed all of that information, we've jam-packed it in our incredibly handy and completely free ReDriven cheat sheets.
Our cheat sheets are invaluable as they provide a full breakdown of the car's model range, its common problems, what you need to look out for before handing over your hard-earned cash, how much of that cash you should be handing over, and so much more. Check it out at redriven.com or in the link below.
Now guys, our major goal here with ReDriven is to make ReDriven like a community-based platform of information on used cars. And the thing is, we generally find it's those that own these cars that are the true experts. So if you've noticed that in this video we've missed something major, can you please let us know in the comments so we can all learn from you? Okay, so how's the exterior? Well, from a design aspect, oh my God, I love these. Like, it's like, holy shit. It's awesome. It's like low and muscular, but still super classy and sophisticated. If you don't like the way these looks, you're an idiot. Now, here's the interesting thing. This car was designed by a man that, in my opinion, is like the most underrated automotive designer of all time. God, it's Mr. Nadar Fagazadar. Hang on. It's Nadar, I'm so bad at this, I'm so sorry. Nadar Fagazadar. We're going to put his name's there, that's his name. Anyway, basically, he was the BMW design boss up until about 2019. Since 2019, BMWs have looked a bit, how do I put this politely? Shit. Like this car's successor looks like this. What the hell's going on there? How do they go from this exquisite piece of machinery to that pregnant turtle? Now, there are actually a few things that you do need to be wary of, not only with the BMW 6 Series, but with any used car. Hence why we've made the ultimate used car buyer's guide, and the link for that video is just up here or just down there somewhere. Guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. Please watch that video before you spend any money buying a used car, because honestly, watching it could save you thousands. Okay, so how's the interior? Well, Mr. Fagazadar has done it again, people. This is exquisite automotive design. Like the way you sit so low and hunkered down, but then like the dashboard and the door card, it all just kind of wraps around you. It's like sitting in like a really luxurious yet sporty bath. Like even the materials used, like all this leather here is premium. The stitching's fantastic. The steering wheel, like wear and tear wise, really good. Like it's going a little bit glossy, but that could be restored easily. This is a bit of a pet peeve of ours. There is like piano black plastic, which looks beautiful, but then down here it is scratching up a bit. All piano black plastic tends to do that. But besides that, for wear and tear, there's a few little scratches down here as well. Oh, also the leather here is kind of getting a little bit loose. I don't know if you can get that retrimmed, but besides that, like honestly, this is just a beautiful, beautiful place to be. Like even as far as space-wise goes, I was just thinking like it's a substantial car size-wise, but it doesn't feel like intimidatingly large because you're, kind of cosseted in this, wraparound leather kind of experience. It just somehow makes it feel smaller than it actually is without feeling like, squashed and confined at all. It's just phenomenal. Brilliant design. I know I keep saying it, but man, wow. The seats, perfection. Like sporty enough, adjustable enough to, if you want to go through some corners, it's going to hold you in position, but at the same time, you could just sit here for what feels like days and not get uncomfortable. Wear and tear on the seats as well, like the leather is superb, still feels fantastic. I'm just falling in love more and more. In the back seat, I'm exactly 31.3 Hot Wheels BMW E30 M3s tall. This is in my driving position, and it's interesting. So my knees are just scraping against the back of the seat a little. My feet are a little bit cramped, but because the seats are so incredibly comfortable, it's quite nice back here. Plus, you actually sit higher than the front seat, so you can kind of look over the top of the headrest. I don't know if you'd better see over the top of someone's head driving it. But overall, even the fact with the roof, like even the design is like coupe, I should be like squished against the roof. I'm not. This is super comfortable. The seats themselves, unbelievably comfy. I'd happily sit back here for hours. This is great. As far as wear and tear goes, no, none. It's perfect. It's like a new car. There is no signs of wear and tear. I doubt anyone's ever sat back here. There is a third seat belt back here, so you can sit in the middle, but it's really only for the smallest of children or amputees. Okay, so how's the tech? Well, with the 6 Series sitting at the very, very pointy end of the BMW range, there's a copious amount of tech and features.
Everything from a premium 9-speaker hi-fi sound system, BMW's iDrive system, dual or 4-zone climate control, Bluetooth connectivity, heated front seats, satellite navigation with a 10.2-inch display screen, front and rear parking sensors, a reversing camera, active cruise control, rain-sensing wipers, and a head-up display.
But as we mentioned, the updates added even more toys, not to mention the endless array of optional extras.
We're talking automatic parking features, those soft closing doors, internet connectivity, and an even more premium Bang & Olufsen surround sound system. But forget Apple CarPlay or Android Auto as standard, although these can be retrofitted.
Now, as we mentioned before, listing out every feature and piece of tech would take forever. But the thing is, if you do need all of that information, just jump on ReDriven.com and check out the cheat sheet. So is it practical? Look, in the boot, oh my God, yes, it is huge back here. Like, it's amazing. Plus the seats fold flat, so you could legitimately take this camping. It's just like, I'm quite comfy. Now, before we get into the back seat to look at the practicality inside the car, there's a few features here that I just love and adore. First of all, it looks like the Grand Coupe logo in this design is like embossed into the glass. It's not, it's there, behind the glass. Secondly, soft closed doors. Love that. Finally, pillarless doors. I love pillarless doors far more than I should. It's almost unhealthy. Practicality in the back seat, you've got some door bins, but they're kind of pointless. They're that small and shallow. I don't know what you're going to get in there. You've got your own air conditioning vents here, like with quad zone climate control. You've got ReDriven script holders behind both of the seats there. You've got a lovely armrest here that has a like Transformers style cup holder, but doesn't sound that great, to be honest. You've got a spot for your Hot Wheels car collection in here, and if you happen to abduct anyone, you can access them via this little cubby hole here, which actually removes. I hope that removes. I really hope I didn't break that, because that'll be expensive. Also, if you really want to piss the person off in the passenger seat, that was hard to say, you can by toggling this little switch here. Passenger goes forward, passenger goes back, passenger goes forward, passenger goes back, passenger goes forward, passenger goes back, passenger goes forward, passenger. And practicality up front, you've got a little storage bin here for your cup holders, one which is currently holding one of my small pretentious coffees, nothing wrong with that. You've got what has to be one of the fanciest little doors for your coin collection and a little power outlet there. You've got a bisexual center console because it opens and swings both ways. Bloody love that. Also, there's more power outlets and auxiliary inputs and USB inputs down there. You've got really, really shallow door bins. You're not going to fit much more than sunglasses and maybe a phone down there, but they're felt lined, so nothing's going to rattle around. And a pretty decent sized glove box with some separate compartments. Oh, the net. There's a little net down here. And that's it, I think, for practicality up front. There's nothing under there. Nothing under the seats, no sunglasses holders. Decent. Okay, so what goes wrong with these things? Well, firstly, there are some reports that the electric windows can glitch out and just fail. So yeah, if you're buying one, make sure the windows actually go up and down. There are reports that the reversing camera and even the wiring loom that supports it can glitch out and fail. Obviously not in this car. Inside, there's really only kind of one problem, which are reports that these seat bases can get a bit loose and rattly and squeaky, and they can kind of move around a bit if you're cornering hard through corners. Cornering hard through corners. Yeah, makes sense. That's about it. Now, before we get into mechanically what can go wrong with the 6 Series, look, the only way that we can keep making these videos is with your support, and to support us, all you have to do is hit the like, subscribe and bell button and share our content with your mates as much as you can. That'd be awesome. Now, mechanically, what goes wrong? This might break my heart, but so far I'm in love with this car, so I hope Jim has nice things to say. I'd love to tell you what goes mechanically wrong with them, but I can't. I'm not a qualified mechanic. But Jim is.
The 6-cylinder petrol or diesel engines in these things make way more sense than the V8 versions, and I'll get to the V8 in a minute. And I'll just say right at the start that all of the engine options in these benefit greatly from more frequent service intervals. We're talking at least every 10,000 Ks or even 5,000 Ks. The petrol 6-cylinder, the N55, is a bit of a BMW workhorse, and it's in a lot of BMW models. It's a pretty reliable unit, but it does have its issues. It has problems with oil leaks from the valve cover and the oil filter housing. It has problems with injectors and coil packs. It does also suffer from feeble engine bay plastics in all of the radiator and expansion tanks. And because of efficiency and emissions reasons, it is directly fuel injected, which combine that with a problematic PCV or engine breather system. They have a bad habit of coking up valves and blocking up inlet ports. Now, this can all be cleaned with a walnut blast or a chemical clean, and typically that can be done in a day. In fact, most of those repairs that these engines need can be done in a day and probably won't send you broke. Now, in terms of the diesel engine, it is a pretty reliable engine. It does have some problems with the timing chain. Now, they are prone to stretching, and in engines that have done more than 200,000 Ks, they can just spontaneously snap. Now, annoyingly, the timing chain is located at the back of the engine, and it was never really meant to be a serviceable item. So when it does need repairing, it's expensive. Now, again, more frequent servicing can mitigate the risk of those timing chain problems, and more frequent servicing also will help with the DPF and EGR complications that they are prone to. Now, the V8, the N63. Look, the engineers have done a great job here with packaging and efficiency, and they are capable of making immense power. And who doesn't love a twin-turbo V8? Well, this V8, the Hot V, is a hot mess. In the pursuit of excellence, the engineers here have created something unnecessarily complicated. There is just so much that goes wrong with these things. The timing chains have a problem of stretching. They have problems with their adjustable cam gears. They have terrible oil consumption issues from valve stem seals and valve guide complications. There is just so much to go wrong. They have problems with their PCV system, that's the engine breather system. They have problem with their coolant pumps and the heat exchangers, lots of leaks and complications there. And the engine has 2 DMEs, which is the computer that runs the whole thing, which is just twice as much to go wrong. And that's in a car that's got already 30 plus control modules. Now, BMW know these engines are a bit shit, and that's why there's a whole bunch of extra factory support you can get. The thing is, in the long term, that support's not going to be around forever. And even in well-serviced versions, all of these problems still occur. So when it does, it's going to be in the workshop for a long time, and it's going to be eye-wateringly expensive. Now, I should just say that this isn't all of the problems that they have. This is just the most common ones. There are a whole long list of complications these engines have. The reality is there is a bunch of more powerful, more reliable, and cheaper to repair forced induction V8s out there. And you'd be surprised to know some of them even have push rods. LS.
Is it safe? Well, look, we're talking about a near flagship model BMW here, so it is drenched in safety tech and safety features. But to give you an overview of what safety tech and features it does have, we're going to cut to another voiceover, but this time it's my friend Jerome, and he's going to be singing it / talking, scatting it in like a spoken jazz style.
You can expect dual front side, and side curtain airbags, ABS, brake assist, cornering brake modulation, EBD, ESC, traction control, seat belts with pretensioners and load limiters. While the post-facelift models, they receive driving assistance plus, as standard. This included forward collision warning, lane departure warning, and active cruise control.
Again, for all of the details of which 6 Series gets what safety tech, just jump on ReDriven.com and check out that cheat sheet. So, what's it like to drive? Honestly, it is utterly bloody lovely. Like, the 6 Series in general is supposed to be, you know, a sporty luxury car, and it absolutely nails that brief. It honestly just has the most perfect balance of performance and comfort, but it just feels luxurious all the time. Like, this thing has nearly everything you'd ever want out of a performance car with none of the compromises of a performance car. Like, okay, on road, it can feel a bit largish, but in saying that, because the steering is so good, so much communication and just so much feel through the steering, and because the cabin just wraps around you, you quickly get used to that size. As far as any sounds and rattles or weird noises in here, except for my voice, none. It honestly, it sounds like a new car. One sound that does sound very nice is this engine. So good. Now, speaking of that engine, and maybe kind of ignoring some of the inconvenient common issues that it can suffer from, the power in this thing is utterly relentless. The power delivery is so linear. Like, yes, it's a turbocharged engine, but there's basically no lag. It's a masterpiece of an engine. Like, it feels way more energetic than, say, like an LS or even a Ford V8. It's a bit more muscular than like an Audi V8, but then it also feels like in a way more sensible than like an AMG or Mercedes V8. So it's this perfect balance of, it's like the perfect V8. Even in terms of performance, like it's properly quick. Like, we're talking seriously quick, but then when you're not up it for the rent, it just wafts and cruises along beautifully. But to add some objective numbers to all this subjectivity, let's do some performance times. We're going to do 0 to 60 kilometers an hour and 60 to 100 kilometers an hour. Okay, but like negatives. What negatives have we got? You got to be super picky. The view out the back through the rear view mirror is a little bit narrow if I was going to be really picky, and there's a bit of a blind spot over there. Besides that, no. It's kind of perfect. Like, even in terms of handling, like, you know, it is a larger car, but it just, oh God, it handles so well. It's clearly a sports car. How they've wrapped up so many personalities in one machine is phenomenal. Okay, so look, overall, what's it like to drive? Well, look, BMW's tagline for the longest time has been, you know, the ultimate driving machine, and with this thing, it absolutely nails that tagline. I might be falling in love here. This is one of the best cars I've ever driven. In saying that, I do have a bit of a habit of falling in love with cars that are maybe not financially very good for me. So, as perfect as this is, and as much as I love it, it does start stressing you out when you start thinking of what might happen if something goes wrong. But still, I want it. I want it. Now, before we get into what these cost, it's important to remember what these cost when they were brand new. They ranged in price here in Australia from $180,000 to about $250,000, and that's before God knows what options were fitted. But pricing here in Australia currently kicks off from $35,000 and it tops out at like $90,000. So that means that a 2012 640i that cost $180,000 when new has lost $150,000 in value, which means if you bought it new, that's heartbreaking. But if you're looking at buying one on the used market, it might be the deal of the century. In fact, for the same asking price as the brand new Toyota GR86, you could have instead a twin-turbo V8 two-door version of one of these, like a 650i for the same price as a GR86. Actually, I have a question for you. This particular car is valued at around about $60,000, which means it's $5,000 less than a new Golf R. So would you buy this car or would you buy a new Golf R? Let us know in the comments. Oh, also for some international pricing, here's a graphic. BMW claims a fuel consumption figure of anywhere from 5.7 litres per 100 Ks for like the 640D models through to 8.9 litres per 100 Ks for the thirstier V8s like this, but this car is getting an average of 10.3. BMW offered a 3-year unlimited kilometre warranty on all of these 6 Series, which means these are all well and truly out of warranty now, unless you can find one with an extended BMW warranty, but they're pretty rare. Servicing is recommended at every 12 months or 10,000 Ks, but it's important to remember that being a BMW, if something goes wrong, the parts are probably going to be expensive, they're going to ask a premium, and because they're such a complex machine, if anything goes wrong, the labour charge will probably go through the roof because there's a lot that they've got to get through to get to the problem in the first place. But thanks to the 6 Series being such a niche model, that equates to passionate owners, and that equates to passionate owners groups, and the owners groups are fantastic. We joined a whole bunch of owners groups to do the research in this video, and they were phenomenal with, help and advice. So if you're buying one of these or if you own one of these, join an owners group. Okay, so should you buy one? Look, if buying a 6 Series is putting you at the outer limits of your financial abilities, then God no, you shouldn't buy one.
Yes, these are utterly exquisite cars, but they are also immensely complex. And thanks to a pretty long list of common faults and high potential for mechanical issues, if anything were to go wrong, chances are it will result in a very expensive repair bill.
But
if you have the money and time to maintain it, are happy to shift some cash out of your investment portfolio to pay for any repair bills, and you're aware of what you're getting yourself into,
and maybe you also own like a Toyota Yaris or a Mazda 2 to drive around in when this thing is getting repaired, then it's a cautious yes. Yeah, you should buy one.
But it is critical that it has an absolutely faultless service history, that it's been cared for like the previous owner's firstborn, and has been given a tick of approval from a thorough pre-purchase inspection.
If it checks out on all of those accounts, look, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if any other car out there offers like so much car for the money, but yeah, just be careful. Earlier, listing out every piece of tech and feature, okay. Now, as we mentioned, to list out all of the features and the list of, all the features and every piece of tech, would just take hours and hours. So make sure you go and check out ReDriven. Oh my God, here we go, one more time, forever. But if you do need all of that information, slow down, just slow down. If I slow down, I'll get it. Now, as we mentioned before, listing out every feature and sorry mate, what am I trying to say? Flagship model BMW here, so yes, it is safe. Fuck me, what is wrong with me, man? It's going so well today until now. Like the 6 Series you're in the shot, Sam. Okay guys, question for you. Is there any other car on the market that offers more bang for your buck than a BMW 6 Series? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next week.